Candidates, welcome and thank you for your commitment to Forest Hill School District. Again, the candidates on the ballot for the election for the School District Board of Education are Mark Bell, Forrest Heist, Jeff Nye, Aaron Walczewski, and Jeremy Moore. Candidates, you have 3 minutes to provide an opening statement and an introduction. We will start alphabetically by your last name, which puts you first. Mark.
Good evening, and thank you all for including us tonight, and thank you my fellow candidates for being up here with us. My name is Mark Bell, and I've had the privilege of serving on Forest Hill School Board since March, when I was unanimously appointed by the 4 current members. I'm running to continue that service, and I'm deeply committed to the power of public education to change lives and to strengthen communities. Like many of you, I am a parent who has walked the journey through Forest Hills, from elementary school all the way through graduation. My kids are now young adults, but their years in the district have shaped who they are, and they've shaped who my wife and I are as parents. My youngest daughter, Chloe, has a condition called Rett syndrome. It is a condition that renders her non-ambulatory and nonverbal. For her, inclusion in the classroom wasn't just a policy discussion, it is our family's life experience. I saw firsthand how powerful it is when a district embraces every student, no matter what their challenges, and creates an environment where all kids can learn side by side. That's the kind of perspective I can bring to this board, one grounded in real experience, not just talking points. Professionally, I've built my career in the numbers, in accounting and finance. I bring those skills of analysis, accountability, long-term planning to the board. Our district faces real challenges and we need real answers. Balancing budgets, meeting the diverse needs of students, and rebuilding and restoring the trust with the community. These aren't issues that are going to get solved by slogans or political theater. They require steady leadership, the ability to listen, and to focus on results. That's what I've done during my brief time on the board so far. I've lowered the rhetoric, we've built consensus, and we've kept the attention where it belongs, on students, teachers, and families. Now, this election gives our community a choice. We can continue to build on what we've started in these last 8 months, a calmer, more focused board that puts education first, or we can go back to the distractions and visions that drain energy from our classrooms. I believe parents, teachers, and taxpayers deserve better than that, and that's why I'm asking you for your support. I bring the lived experience of a parent, the skills of a financial professional, and the perspective of someone who has already been tested in this role. Most importantly, I bring a commitment to make sure every student in Forest Hills, from the highest achievers to those who need the most support, have the opportunity to succeed. That's what I've been working toward, and with your support, that is what I will continue to do.
Thank you, Mark. Next, we have Forrest.
Thank you. My name is Forrest Heist, and I'm Forest Hills to the core. I'm one of 3 generations of Forest Hills graduates. In fact, since 1949, the last 76 years, there's not been 1 year that there has not been a Heist in Forest Hills. I'm staunchly pro-public education and staunchly pro-Forest Hills. I was raised in this community, and after meeting my wife in med school, we chose to move back here to raise our family. We have 4 children, 3 Forest Hills graduates, and 1 who better be graduating in May. My education through Forest Hills has given me and my family so much I strongly desire to give back. And our community has given me that opportunity, electing me to serve on the Forest Hills School Board for 12 years, where I served as president for 5 years and vice president for 3 years. I bring an unmatched level of expertise and leadership to this race. Professionally, I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Ortho Cincy. I was educated at Wilson, Turpin Junior High, Forest Hills Junior School, and graduated valedictorian from Turpin in 1987. After graduating from Stanford University, I returned to UC for med school and then Duke for residency. I've been team physician at NKU for 23 years and have served professionally as chief of surgery, chairman of the Orthopedic Institute at St. Elizabeth, and the Ortho Cincy Board of Directors for over a decade. These roles demand professionalism, tenacity, and the ability to build consensus and collaboration with varied viewpoints. I have a strong will to make our community better. For years, I've coached baseball, softball, soccer. I've volunteered at high school concessions and elementary school carnivals. I've announced the Forest Hills 5K and JV girls and boys soccer and basketball games. And I'm a longtime member of the Turpin and Anderson Boosters, Forest Hills Foundation, and the PTA and PTOs of every school my children have attended. I love our community, and I'm supremely proud of the people in it. During my time on Forest Hills School Board, I served on every committee from finance to curriculum, as well as many subcommittees. I've participated in the employment and unemployment of 4 superintendents and 3 treasurers. I've helped pass many levy campaigns, and I've managed the failure of levy campaigns. I've experienced dealing collaboratively with many different viewpoints in facilities, curriculum, HR, state mandates, student wellness, changes in leadership, teacher turnover, and legal challenges. I base my decisions first and foremost on what is best for our students, taking into account all the variables present in each situation. I'm widely known as being professional, level-headed, and a consensus builder. And this approach to even contentious problems leads to collaborative solutions. And I'm committed. In the past 10 years, not only am I the only sitting board member willing to run again, but I've watched as 3 board members resign before finishing their first term. I've seen a lot, I've been through a lot, and I'm ready to bring experience, leadership, and stability back to the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Forrest. Next, we're going to hear from Jeff.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Nye. I'm running for the school board because our kids deserve to know that the adults in their lives care about their educational well-being. We need to make sure students are at the center of every decision the board makes and make sure our schools are safe and welcoming places for all students. Like many of you, my wife Abby and I moved to Anderson specifically so our kids could go to Forest Hills. Both of our kids went to Maddox, and now we've got one at Nagel and one at Anderson. But also, like many of you, we've been incredibly disappointed and incredibly frustrated at the complete lack of leadership at the top of the district. It has gone on for far too long. Many of you know that I've been going to nearly every school board meeting for many years. I take my 3 minutes of public comment, I try to talk about the issues of the day. There's no interest from most of the board members about dialogue, collaboration, or actual problem solving. There are current and former board members that I've asked to meet with me to discuss issues or talk about something on the phone, and have just been flatly refused. They're not interested in it. That's not public service. That's not leadership. Our kids and our community, all of you deserve better representation. It's time for new leadership in the district. I have the skills that can help. First and foremost, I'm an active and involved parent. I've volunteered in every school that my kids have attended and multiple schools that they haven't. Whether it's chaperoning field trips or being a library reader, or we're doing programs and events in the Community Partnership Program or the Excel program, or serving on the board of the Forest Hills Foundation for Education. These are not things I have done, these are not things I did, these are things I'm doing right now. In my day job, I'm a lawyer, I'm a litigator, and that means that every single day I am working with other lawyers who represent clients whose interests are diametrically opposed to mine. But you know what? We work professionally, we work collaboratively, we identify issues together, we try to find common ground where we can to reach the best result for all of our clients. I'm a good communicator, I'm a good consensus builder. I'm comfortable making difficult decisions. I know how to run a meeting. These are skills that our school board has severely lacked in recent years and desperately needs. I've spent the last 6 months running for this job, more than that actually, closer to 8 months at this point. And Aaron and Jeremy and I have spent a ton of time getting out in the community and meeting all of you. And it's been great to talk about issues that all of us hold very dear. I know, I'm looking forward to answering your questions here tonight. I know we're not going to get to all of them. You can reach out to us if your question isn't answered through our website, familiesforforesthills.com. Connect to us through that by email or Facebook. We'd be happy to keep the conversation going. Thank you for your time, thank you for your questions, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Jeff. Erin, you're next.
I'm Erin Walczewski, and I'm running for the school board because I am a big believer that strong schools make a strong community. And I believe that I can add value to the board through both my qualifications and my bipartisanship. So let me talk about 3 qualifications. I can sum it up by saying parent, lawyer, teacher. Number 1, I'm a parent. My daughter's at Summit, my son's at Nagel, I've got 2 nieces at Anderson and a nephew who's a recent graduate. And my family does all of the things. Just this week, we have girls volleyball, boys volleyball, scouts, soccer, orchestra, choir, marching band, gymnastics, more marching band, more volleyball, and that's just this week. And that's a pretty normal week for us. And that's not my nieces, that's just my kids. But that's one of the things that I'm looking for in a school board member, is people who are active in the current school year with current kids to see what is it that's important to people and what are the students experiencing. Second, I'm a lawyer. I've been practicing for 15 years, first as a business attorney, and in the past 8 years I've developed a specialty in nonprofit advising. So preparing for board meetings is literally part of what I do for a living. I have advised hundreds of organizations on governance and strategy and finance. And third, I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 20 years, longer than I've been a lawyer. I started a literacy program for children when I was in college. So I was teaching in classrooms K through 8, encouraging kids to read. I was a high school teacher for a year, and I'm currently on the faculty of Harvard Law School, where I've been for 10 years. This year I had 96 students and a whole lot of homework to grade. The last thing I want to talk about is bipartisanship. I grew up in a family with 2 parents, 1 Democrat and 1 Republican. And from the very early stages of my career, I was mentored by giants of bipartisanship. In college, I was selected for a national fellowship for bipartisan civic engagement among young people. So we had Democrats and Republicans living together in a college dorm, doing internships, doing policy discussions, and doing volunteering. The next year, I was hired onto the staff of that program and helped run it. After I graduated from college, I was hired onto the staff of the 9/11 Commission's nonprofit. The 9/11 Commission was a bipartisan panel of 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans working toward cooperation in one of the highest stakes environments that you can imagine, which is national security and public safety in the wake of the terrorist attacks of 9/11. That class that I mentioned at Harvard, one of the things that I teach is how to bridge partisan divides. And you do it through things like looking for shared interests, commonalities, and things that you're all hoping to work toward together. And one of the things that I'm most proud about is this campaign. I am so very proud that I have Republicans, Democrats, independents, and first-time voters signing my petition for me to get on the ballot, volunteering for my campaign, and pledging to vote for me for this campaign.
Thank you, Aaron. And now we will go through Jeremy.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Ward, and I'm hoping to earn your vote on November 4th or before for the Forest Hills School Board. While I'm thrilled that there are 5 candidates up here who are supremely qualified, what sets me apart, and I think my greatest asset to the board, is my professional career. For the last 23 years, I've been a public school teacher here in Ohio, in the Cincinnati area. 19 years, the past 19 years at Loveland, and the 4 years before that in Milford. And from that experience, I think there are kind of 2 key aspects that will help me serving on the school board. The first is that I love teaching. I love education. I truly believe that education can transform lives. In my experience teaching and working with education, innovation comes out. At Loveland, when I arrived, the AP Physics C course was an independent study course. We had 2 or 3 kids who would take it once a year in their study hall. I worked to get that course a fully offered course, which we now have multiple sections of. A few years after that, there was a need that I saw for another physics course geared towards students who have less than stellar math skills. We call that project physics, and that physics class gets about 3 or 4 sections a year now. And the core of the class is that in the class, we focus on the first 8 or 9 concepts in a normal physics class, but we do it purely conceptually. We cut as much of the math out as we can, and we focus on hands-on experience. Each unit is built around a project where the students will build something, create something, or improve something, or even compete with each other as part of the learning process. A few years after that, we had another innovation. We saw a need for a skilled trades fair. And I worked with one of our school counselors to bring 8 or 9 different industries into the school, who then met with our students and kind of introduced their industry, what their job looks like, what their career path looks like, what their their pay is in some cases. Soon after this, what I'm trying to say, after the skilled trades fair, 2 years later, we've got 25 people, 30 companies that come in. It's turned into a big event that we hold in the back gym now that takes a half a day. The second aspect of my career that I think is going to be beneficial is my time advocating for public schools. I've worked on many levy campaigns, and in those campaigns I've become fluent in talking about school finance. I've become very good at explaining what a mill is or why we need levies to the layperson. In addition to that, policy. I have seen policy play out over the years, 23 years now, both in the short term and the long term for our buildings, for our staff, and for our students. And I think seeing that policy play out will bring a unique perspective to our school board. Thank you.